Okay. Good evening again. So let us see what do we have today. Okay. So I got few questions. Okay. From one of the participants. So we will discuss over those questions today. Okay. If anyone knows, they can answer. They can raise their hand. I'll unmute them. They can answer that question. Okay. I'll display that question. So before that, let us see what did we discuss in our last session. So we just got discussed some of the very basic things related to Java. That is like variables, assignment operators, and how to kind of how we can visualize the variables, addresses, and the assigned values, all those things. And then what are Java strings, high level view, appending operator, that is plus operator, addition operator, and some control statements. Hope all of you have been practicing these things. And also we saw arithmetic and logical operators and code blocks. Okay, so let us see what are the questions that we are going to discuss in today's session. Okay, so there are around 7 questions. Okay, so let us discuss what are the first question, that is the difference between JDK, JRE, and JVM. Okay, so I guess we have discussed these things in one of our previous sessions, right? Does anyone want to discuss or explain about the differences between JDK, JRE, and JVM? Please raise your hand. I'll unmute you and you can tell something about the differences between JDK, JRE, and JVM. No one knows what is the difference between JDK, JRE, and JVM? Okay, so let me take, okay. Okay, I've shared. Okay. Okay, let me unmute Pawan. Yeah, Pawan. Tell me.
Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, the JDK is used for the development of a Java code. Okay, whereas JRE to run the program. Okay. Well, it was me who actually asked that question, the difference between JDK, JRE, and the JVM. Okay, I understood the difference between the JDK and the JRE very perfectly, but I didn't understand where does the JVM actually come in. You know, in one of the sessions you said that Java code, it's a JVM is just like a it's like a bridge between the Java code and the OS. Okay, if it's the bridge, then where does the JRE's role come in?
Now, can you please repeat it? Repeat your question again.
Okay, in one of the sessions you said that the JVM acts like a bridge between the Java and the operating system.
Okay.
So my doubt here is, so if JVM is acting as a bridge, where does the JRE come in between? I mean.
Okay, so let me mute you. If at all anything is there, please raise your hand. Okay, so I'll unmute you again.
Okay.
Okay. So hope I'm audible to everyone. Okay. So here is let us take a simple picture. Okay. Let us assume this is. Can you see my this thing? MS Paint. That's what I'm using right now. Okay. Yeah. We can consider this as our. Okay. this is a JDK. Okay, so this will have your JRE, and this JRE will have your JVM. So, or you can say, if I can, okay. Okay, can you all see what I have given here? We'll see that later. Okay. So with this diagram, what we can see is JDK is, as the name suggests, it's a development kit, right? So it will have tools for helping developers. Okay. So tools means so it will have your Java loader, Java compiler, and other stuff. Okay. Apart from that, it will have your JRE for running. Can you all hear me? Okay, so give me a second. Yeah, Venkat, if you are not able to hear, can you log out and log in again? Yeah, I guess there are two Venkats here, Venkatanaga and other Venkat. Okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, so JRE is part of your JDK. Okay, that provides a runtime environment for your JDK. Whatever so whenever you are developing something, right, you need to compile it and you need to run it, right? So when compiling, you'll use your JavaC command. That is the compiler, which is compiler, and compile your .java file into class files, .class files, right? But while running, you need a environment, runtime environment, right? So that is provided by your JRE, which is part of your JDK itself. Okay, while installing, you will install JRE as well, right? And then JVM is part of your JRE. Okay, so what exactly you do is you write a source code that is in .java, and you compile it to generate your bytecodes. Okay, bytecode is kind of specific to your Java. Okay, bytecode is specific to your Java. Yeah, I am not changing anything. Okay, as long as you are hearing me, everything is fine. Okay. One of the participants is asking, yeah, Pawan. So I am not changing anything. Okay. So it's like I'm discussing on this particular diagram only, if you can call it. Okay. I'm not doing anything. Okay. It's not frozen actually. I'm not doing anything. I'm just discussing whatever I have written on the screen. Okay. So what I was telling is JVM is part of your JRE, and when you compile a .java class, you will get when you compile a .java file, you will get .class file, right? That is a new a new document or a new file that gets generated after your compilation. So those .class files will have your byte codes. Okay, this byte code is specific to your Java. Okay, so the machine or the processor, right? The processor cannot, the actual physical processor cannot understand these byte codes. Okay, ultimately what happens, whatever the code or program that you have written, that needs to be executed by your processor only, right? Processor is the one which actually executes all your code. Okay, you need to provide a way for your processor to execute the code that you have written, but the thing is it will not be able to execute your byte codes because byte code is specific to your Java. Okay, if you directly give this byte code to your processor, it will not be able to understand that byte code. Okay, because the processor understands only machine code. Okay, so here the JVM comes into picture. So who understands or interprets the byte codes that are there in .class files? That is a JVM. You can think JVM as the one or the processor, okay, the virtual processor or virtual machine, okay, virtual processor which converts byte codes into machine code, which is actually processed by the physical processor. Okay, why I told is the bridge between your JVM as the bridge between your JRE and I'm not sure exactly what I told, but JVM is the one which interprets your byte codes, and you can assume like it converts your byte code into your machine code, which actually gets executed by your microprocessor, which you call like Pentium, Intel i7, i5, i3, or whatever it is. Okay. Did that answer your question, Pawan?
Yeah,
I have unmuted you. Can okay. So that is what, no. So you can have your JRE alone. Okay. Say for example, you have a set of jar files. We will see what are those jar files. Okay. Or say for example, you have a .class file. Okay. .class file which you want to execute in some other machine. Okay. Say for example, I have written a program and I generated .class file and I gave it to you. Okay. And will you be able to, the question is, will you be able to run that class? Yes, of course you can run that class. Okay. That is how all Java applications are distributed to people in a way of like .jar files. Okay. What they do is they compile all your files, Java files, create that generates corresponding .class files. We create .jar file, okay, Java archive file. Okay, we will see how to do all those things in our future sessions. Okay, so .jar files, and we distribute that jar file to others. We will not give source code to others. Okay, source code obviously that will be proprietary to each and every company. Okay, so if you want to import any libraries from outside, for example, any Apache is a free foundation, right, where you get a lot of support for a lot of libraries, Java libraries free, right? Free, you can download it and you can use it, logging, all those things, right? So they are distributed to you as .jar files. You can get source files as well, but they are distributed to you as .jar files, not as source files. Okay, you need not have to compile so you can download source file and compile it to generate class files. That is separate thing. Okay, but when they distribute they'll distribute you as .jar files. Okay, which contains only .class files, not .java files. Okay, that is where the difference between these three lies. And then the next question is, does JRE has compiler? or JRE use compiler that is the operating system has. Okay, as I mentioned, JRE is just a runtime environment. Okay, it is just a runtime environment. Okay, it will not include your compiler. Compiler is part of your JDK. Okay, so basically, why do you need a compiler? Okay, yeah, Shravanti, let me complete these questions and then we will take up your question. Okay. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's right. Compiler is part of your JDK, so JRE will not have the compiler part. But why do you need compiler? Okay, okay, why do you need a compiler? Okay, you have your source code, which is in high-level language, right? All English-like languages, which use like a for loop, if condition, all those things, right? If you see those things, it will be like your English only. You can easily make out what exactly the logic that is written in a particular program. But as we always keep telling, the machine is the one which actually executes your instructions, right? So there should be a way for the machine to understand whatever you have written, right? So that is where these compilers come into picture. Okay. I don't want to, please don't think like whenever I reference C, C++, you need to learn C, C++ to understand Java. That is totally, C, C++ is required. Is C, C++ required for learning Java? Absolutely not. Okay, without the knowledge of C, C++, you can learn Java. In fact, learning Java is more easier than C, C++. Okay, so whenever I reference C, C++ with respect to learning Java, please don't think that C, C++ is needed for learning Java. Okay, I will just take an example. I'll just compare what exactly is happening between C, C++ and Java. Okay, so when you take a C or C++ program and compile it, it generates object files, okay, .obj files, whatever it is. Okay, they are direct machine level languages or machine level code, you can call it as. Okay, those .obj files can be directly executed by your processor, physical processor, which is there. That is your Intel i7, i5, i3, or whatever it is, latest one. Okay, those code which gets generated by the compiler of C, C++ can be directly executed by your machine, that is your processor. Okay, but in case of Java compiler generates your byte codes, not your machine code. Okay, those byte codes can be understood only by your JVM. Okay, that will be those machine byte codes will be understood by JVM, and it generates machine code, which in turn will be executed by your machine or processor. Okay, that is a middle level abstraction that is provided by JVM to this processor. Okay, this is where your platform independency come into picture. Okay, this is where your platform independency come into picture. We have discussed these things in one of our previous session. So Pawan, if I can, if you can go through that session, right? You might get a better idea. Even after going through that session, if you still have doubts, you can come back to me. Okay, this is the ID which you can post your questions. So this is the ID where all of you can post your questions. That is intuition.javatraining@gmail.com. Okay, intuition.javatraining@gmail.com. Okay, so please note down this particular ID. Please note down this ID, and we can give me a second here. Yeah, note on this ID and post all your questions to this ID. Okay, so that we can answer. So what is the difference between Java loader and a compiler? Okay, so compiler is a separate part, right? It is like it is used to compile your Java code into Java code means whatever the code that you have written in .java file, that is your source file. Okay, compilation unit, we call it as compilation unit, right? So that is one part. Java compiler is used to generate your bytecodes. Okay, but when you while running a program, we use a command called Java, right? What actually Java does? So it actually kind of like it creates a JVM. Okay, JVM in turn will provide all the necessary things that is needed for running your Java program. Okay, say for example, you need whatever the program that you write, right? Whatever the Java program that you write, as we know, we write it within a class, right? The Java class, that is public class, some name you give, and then within the class brackets, whatever the code you want to write, you write that code within that particular class, right? Implicitly, all classes that we write or all classes that exist in Java are extended, or they inherit some properties from the base class called object, which is part of your java.lang package. Okay, hope all of you are getting what I'm trying to explain. Okay, so there is a concept in object-oriented programming. There is a concept called inheritance. Okay, inheritance is, in simple terms, it is like a parent-child relationship. Okay, so if you take, you might have heard, right? Whenever you did something, your parents tell like, okay, he did something similar to what I used to do. Okay, it is like you would have got genes from your parents, which you inherited from your parents. Okay, similar to that one, in Java or any object-oriented programming, you will have one parent and you will have one child. Okay, so we will see when we discuss about inheritance how that can be achieved using Java programmatically. Okay, so in simple words, java.lang is a package, object is a class, okay, system defined class, which is a super class of all the Java classes that exist. Okay, implicitly, if you write public class or whatever the class that you write, that extends, okay, or object is a parent of that particular class, even without you kind of like specifically told JVM that this object is a parent of your class, whatever the class that you are writing. So you don't specify when you write. We have seen two classes, right? Or you might have written some few classes. You might not have specified anywhere that object is a parent class of whatever the classes that you have written. But implicitly, compiler provides you. Compiler makes object as the parent of whatever the classes that you write. In fact, all the classes, whatever the class that you come across in Java, are child of object class. Okay, these kinds of things are provided by this Java loader. Okay, what it actually does is it will have a what are called as default class loaders. Okay, that is an instance of java.lang class loader. Okay, what it actually does is that particular class, that is class loader, will have a specific method load class. Okay, that actually loads whatever the code that is needed for executing that particular class. Okay, say for example, we had class called simple class and another simple class, Java class we have written, right? When we try to run those classes, what actually happens? Whatever the necessary supporting files that are needed for that particular class, right? Simple class or another simple class, those classes are loaded by this particular class loader. Okay, so what actually Java loader does is it enables your Java class to run by providing all the necessary support for running that particular Java class. This is a simple explanation of what a Java loader does. Okay, apart from this, just by looking at the name of the class, right, it will easily identify where exactly the bytecode exists, and it loads that bytecode in memory for interpretation and execution. Okay, we know what is the compiler, right? We know what is the compiler. So it is just a tool used to compile your Java source to your bytecode .class file, right? So that is the difference between your Java loader and compiler. Yeah, Pawan, do you have any questions regarding this one? Okay, so let's move on to this public static void main. Okay, so public static void main, as we know, like public static void main is the starting point of your Java program. That is, your code start to execute from this particular method, right? If you want to run a particular Java program, that should have public static void main method inside it. Okay, this is the starting point of your Java program execution. Okay, it is public because this public static void main is a function which actually is gets executed by the JVM. Okay, static, it's a keyword. As we discussed, it's a keyword. Whenever you make a particular class member as static, you can execute that particular or you can access that particular class member without instantiating a class. Okay, we will see about instantiating class and all those things in our future classes. Okay, when we discuss exclusively on classes, what do you mean by a class, and what do you mean by an instance of a class, and what are instance members of a class, all those things we will discuss in our session on classes itself. Okay, and void is, as we discussed, it's a return type of a method. Okay, so why do we have string arguments inside main method? Why not characters? Okay, so why not characters? So usually when this is like this is a string that the parameters that we pass to public static void main method, which is called by JVM, is this string array. Okay, not just a string, it's a string array which we pass it when we call a Java program. Okay, say for example, you can have a main method which will take character array actually. Okay, but so normally when you pass some arguments, okay, some arguments on command line, what exactly do you pass? Is it kind of like string, or is just like something like some simple characters or something? What you think you might pass on command line? What do you think? So it usually is like strings. Say for example, you pass some string which you want to validate. For example, you you pass your username, password. Say for example, you are connecting to a database, you pass your username, password, or some other parameters. Most probably whatever you pass would be like strings. Okay, assume that the JVM is implemented which takes characters. Okay, in that case, you have to pass each and every character. Okay, say for example, I want to pass a string called Java. Okay, if a particular main method takes character as character array as your argument or parameter to your main method, then you have to specify Java space A, J space A space V space A, like that. That becomes inconvenient, right? So Java JV, I mean, this public static void main is implemented with string array as parameter to it, not as character. Okay, that is why it's a the parameter, that arguments has to be passed as string, not as characters. Okay. So can we use .class file to run the other system without the Java source code related to particular .class file? Yes, definitely. That is the whole purpose of your .jar files, right? Or Java archive files. Okay. So whenever you see okay, we will see in our in our future sessions, or for that matter, we will see here itself. Okay. I just wanted to show a few of the things. So here I have declared, say for example, I just wanted to show you these things. Okay. Here we have string arguments, but can we have this one? What is that? A method which just takes a character. Okay. Say for example here. Okay. So assume that this is a method which is called by JVM which you implemented. Okay, in that case it takes, say for example, this takes only two parameters, two characters. Okay, these two you have to, whenever you want to pass parameters to it, you have to pass parameters like this, or if it takes character array, you have to pass parameters like this. Okay, so that will be a problem, right? So that's why whenever you see, I mean, normally we would see like a sequence of characters we pass to a command line argument to any particular program. Okay, that is why we use that one. Give me a second here. Give me a second. So that is what we use the .class file. So do you want me to show this? Can we write any Java? One more question is that can we write any Java program without importing any packages? Yeah, we will discuss that, Mohammed. Yeah, let me complete this one. Another two questions, right? Okay. So .obj files, can you use .obj file to run other systems? Okay. So let us not discuss about C++ things. I'll try to minimize, as I told in my previous class, I'll try to minimize the reference to C or C++ code with reference to Java. Okay. Let us not discuss about C++ at all. That's what I am thinking. Like, I am not sure, I have not tried this particular thing, but I can get back to you on this. So normally, if you have same configuration, okay, the .obj file is nothing but your, if you have everything same, okay, .obj file with the same configuration you can run. That is what my understanding is. Okay, I haven't tried this, but you should be able to run without the source file. Okay, let me stop at this point. Okay, I have not tried, but I will come back to you, Pawan, regarding this question. Okay, so my understanding is we should be able to run with .obj files, only with .obj files with same configuration. I stress with same configuration, you should be able to run obj files without source files, C++ source files. Okay. So what is the difference between machine code and byte code? We have already discussed. Machine code is like which is understandable by your processor, which is like specific to your processor. Okay, we have Intel i7 that will have its own machine code associated with Intel i7. Okay, so whatever the code that you generate by compiling Java source file is byte code, and byte code must be converted to your machine code so that your processor can understand your byte code. That is what is the functionality of your JVM, which interprets your byte codes and then converts it into a machine code which can be executed by your processor. Okay, what it also does, whatever the response that it gets from your processor, it reconverts it into whatever the JVM can understand. Okay. So let's go back to whatever the question Shravanti asked. Yeah, I think Shravanti asked the same question, that is the .class files. Okay. So let me check that. Okay, one interesting question. Okay, let me unmute Shravanti. Yeah, Shravanti, can you ask your question? I think I need to search here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I hope
if we have, yes, sir, I'm asking my question. If we have a .class file, is it is JDK enough for it for the .class file to be executed?
That's what, no? That is where the difference comes in. Okay, so JDK is JRE and JVM are part of your JDK. In turn, like JRE is part of your JDK. Okay, JVM is part of your JRE. Okay. Once you install your JDK will come with your JRE, in turn with your JVM. Okay, or you can do the other way. I mean, you can do this way also. You can if you are not a developer. Okay, if you are not a developer, you just want to run. You are given a particular set of files to run. Okay, or for example, an executable Java archive file, that is jar file. Okay, your executable jar file. Assume that you are given a executable jar file, which in turn will contain all the .classes files. Okay, all .class files that are needed for executing that particular program. Assume. Okay.
Okay.
If you install JRE, if you just install JRE, you will be able to execute that particular executable jar file. Okay, you need not have to install your JDK. That is not at all required. Okay, but once you install JDK, it comes with JRE, right? You can run your program. So what I'm telling you, .class file, if you have, you can, with your JDK installed or your JRE installed, you can execute that particular program without the source file.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Muhammad is asking a question. Can we write any Java program without importing any packages? Okay, that is another question. So it again depends, Muhammad. There are multiple packages. There are so many packages, hundreds and thousands of packages in Java itself. Okay. Apart from that, you need support from some other things also that you include using your jar files. Okay, which you get from different sources. Okay, but there is one particular package which is like included by default to you. Okay, that is java.lang package. We will discuss all these things. Okay, just for your information, java.lang is a package which actually gets included without you including that particular package. So whatever the things that you are using, right? Say for example, java.lang.classloader, which is used for loading your classes. Okay, that is in java.lang package. Okay, your strings are in the java.lang package. Your class java.lang.class, right? All those things are in your java.lang packages. Okay, whatever is the things that are needed for your JRE to execute, right? JVM to execute. All those things are included in your java.lang packages, which come implicitly to you. I mean, it is included or it is imported in your classes without you importing it. Okay, so with whatever you can do with the java.lang package, you can do that with a Java program without importing any packages, any other packages. Okay, if you need apart from that, if you need any other functionalities, you need to include respective packages. Okay, okay, so that is one question. Okay, yeah, you're welcome, Pawan. And one other question is, what is JVM? is it a machine or a program? Okay, so JVM, as we say, is a Java virtual machine, right? It is a virtual machine. That means it is a software or it is a program. Okay, it is a program which actually understands what is your bytecode and it executes your bytecode to convert that bytecode or interprets your bytecode into machine code. It is a software. Okay, it is a software or it is a program written to understand your bytecode. Okay, so actually whatever the code that you execute, right, whatever the code that gets executed by the machine or the processor is your machine code, which we get it from your bytecode using your JVM. Okay. Okay, again, I don't want to refer to .obj file again and again. Okay, that kind of like gets others confused with the C++, learning C++. Okay, so simply obj file is nothing but your machine code, which you get from C or C++ compilers. We won't get .obj file from your Java compilers. Okay, we won't get .obj file from your Java compiler. That is totally, Java compiler is a totally different compiler when compared to C++ compiler. Okay, don't get confused with that. We will never get, with Java program we will never get .obj file. Okay, .obj file is the one which you get with your C++ compiler for your C++ source code. Okay, which is like that is why we call C++ programming languages as machine dependent programming languages, not machine independent. Okay, and differentiate between obj file, .java file, and .class file. You know what is a .java file, right? It is a source code. That class file is a bytecode or contains bytecode generated by your compiler, Java compiler, not any other specific compiler. Okay. Okay. So, so any other questions do you have? Anyone has any other questions? Anyone has any other questions? Okay, so let us wind up this call now. So we will have next session tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Okay, not 9 o'clock, at 8 o'clock. Okay, let me repeat, tomorrow's session will be at 8 o'clock as usual, and we will start sharply at 8:05 so that we'll give 5 minutes for everyone to join. Okay, so thanks everyone. Thanks for attending this session. Hope you got some information in today's class. So if you have any doubts regarding these things, if you can go through the previous sessions, you'll be able to understand in a better way. Even after going through the sessions again, if you have doubts, please shoot your mail to intuition.javatraining@gmail.com. Okay, we will, yes, exactly. We will have tomorrow's session at 8 p.m. CST. Okay, it is 8 p.m. CST. Always all timings are in CT timings. Okay, Central Time. Okay, Central Time. Yeah. Thanks everyone.